early then. I'll just say it's 7 o'clock. All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. We're gonna pass on the Pledge of Allegiance. And Missy, could you take roll call, please?
Yes.
Here.
Robert?
Here.
Tanya?
Here.
Becky?
Here.
Libby?
Here.
I declare we have a quorum. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, on new business, council to consider CF1 forms regarding tax abatement, compliance for Taxman Brewing Company, Genesis Plastic and Welding, Thursday's Pool and Plaque Maker, Kyle Sherman Properties.
All right. Sure. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. For the record, Adam Zaklakowski, the Planning and Building Director for the town. Item before you tonight, one forms. These are required by the state. If you'll recall, every year, any company in Fortville that gets a tax abatement has to demonstrate that they're meeting the objectives that were put out in their original proposal. So this is one system of checks and balances. Out of the 4 companies that are eligible for tax abatements, Plaque Maker, if you'll recall, some of you may recall last year, they did not receive council's blessing on their abatement, and their financial situation hasn't changed. So they're seeking an abatement for 2020. So it's just Genesis, Thursday Pools, and Taxman. So with that, the documents were provided to you, and we have folks on the line from each of the 3 companies, I believe. I think we might be missing Genesis at the moment.
He's actually logging on right now.
Okay. Oh, great. So with that, if you wanted to go ahead and take them each one at a time, and then each of the business owners can give you some information. If I know Tom wanted to give a presentation, but beyond that, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, Taxman Brewery, are they online? Nathan?
No, I'm here. It's Kirby.
Oh, hi, Kirby.
Hey.
Hi. So they're in compliance. So do we have to take a vote on this, Adam, on each company?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion that we approve Taxman Brewery? Are they all, Randy? Are they all in compliance?
I've not seen Thursday Pools. I know Bill came and called and left me a voicemail. I haven't had a chance to call him. I know that Genesis is not in compliance, but I also know he sent out a PowerPoint as to explain what has happened with their business. Tom may be on, but to the best of my knowledge, so you guys just went dark. Taxman is in fact in compliance. Well, yes, because they've exceeded on both what they thought they would have in wages and on the values on their improvements. So they have exceeded by a good margin. So they're clearly in compliance. And so that would be probably the request, that there be a motion to approve their CF1, so that can be reported to the auditor.
Okay. Can I get somebody to
I'll make a motion to approve the Taxman.
Is that
Hey,
me?
Becky, mute your,
Yeah,
Becky,
Becky, it looks
mute.
like you're logged on twice with your
I
phone.
am. Let me get off.
Here, mute one of them.
Mute one of them.
And the other thing is, if you're not talking, we should mute, everybody should mute if they're not talking, because it doesn't do the background noise.
I'm not sure I know how to mute.
Oh, okay, all right. We won't worry about it. I'll show you.
Oh, I see it down. I see a little mute button down here. Never
Yeah,
mind.
you hit the little mute button on the bottom. Okay, go ahead. Robert, go ahead and make your motion. I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the tax abatement as presented.
A second.
I guess Becky seconds.
Uh-huh.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Genesis Plastic and Welding. So should we just make a motion that they wait for their paperwork to come in, maybe move them to next meeting?
Tom's here. He's done a presentation. He's
Okay.
I believe the paperwork's been submitted. We aren't in compliance, but that's
Okay, good.
part of why I provided the paperwork.
Okay,
Would you like me to go into, obviously we're off the numbers. I can pull those numbers up if you'd like me to share those, as well as the information I have on the PowerPoint, just to kind of reiterate where we are in the process. We've presented in the past because we had really aggressive goals back in the past. So what I'd like to do is share my screen I could probably go through this in about 10 minutes. Is that all right?
Yes.
yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to share a screen here. Okay, can everybody see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
yes, sir. Looks good.
Okay, great. So, one thing that what I'm proud of my employees. You'll see a banner probably by next week up on our facility. We've been working just like several other companies in town. We make medical devices, products that help people's lives and save people's lives. So I consider the people that work at my facility their own heroes. They've been doing really good, keeping clean. We haven't had any COVID cases this year, so we're very fortunate in that aspect. Just as a reminder, back in 2012 is when we asked for the abatement, when we expanded from 15,000 square feet to 42,000 square feet. We invested in plant and equipment over 3.9 million back in 2012. And since 2001, 100% of all our profits after tax have been reinvested back into the company. The biggest reason we're outside of the abatement process is because in 2015, one of our customers was a big part of our growth. We lost that large customer, which was unfortunately 46% of our business. While that's very unfortunate, we have been very successful in rebounding over the past 3 years, and I feel like we're in a good path going forward. I didn't put 2020 on there, but we should be about several notches up and almost back to the peak of where we were. So factors to consider: 2012 real estate tax abatement based on our assessed value back in 2012 was $570,000. That's a fixed number for the life of the abatement. Abatement is 20% for 2019, dropping to 10%, and then our abatement ends in 2021. So we're really near the end of our abatement process. In 2018, our real estate value assessed was 1.6 million. It's not published yet. 2019 is not published yet, so we can't present that. We're paying 100% of our real estate taxes on the difference of 2012 to 2018 assessed value. So the amount that we're fully taxed on is $1 million, 1.04 to be exact. The Genesis Plastics Welding property equipment tax is earned at 100% for the town. We've invested in equipment increases from almost $1.5 million since 2012. In the last 12 months, wages have increased 11%, or $266,000. We've increased our headcount by 7, an increase of 15.4% over 2018. So of the 65 employees that we retained since 2012, wages, just those 65 employees since 2012, wages have increased 34% or $604,000 from that original SB1 filing. Any question on some of those numbers? Okay.
No.
Moving on. Just a quick reminder on some of those products. I won't, the rest is really more show and tell. For those of you who aren't familiar with what our company is, Genesis Plastics Welding, we primarily use radio frequency welding, and we manufacture products from plastic films, fabrics, and foams. Something that we're really diving in now that's helping in the COVID process is this oxygen hood on the left side here. We're manufacturing for a company, and we're also designing a new one. It'll be the first product of our own design if we can get it out successfully. And then many, many other products that are involved in the healthcare business, from wound care dressings, collection bags, urinary drainage bags, deep vein thrombosis, and then we get into military products as well, radar buoys, military helmet pads, etc. The future of our process, though, is what we hope to help people, infants that are born prematurely, born 24 weeks or earlier, have a very low chance of surviving. So if the mother has to have surgery because of her health issues, instead of the baby being aborted, they can take the baby out and put it into an artificial womb to allow the infant to grow for another 4 weeks to have a much higher probability of success. And we're in the 4th year of work with the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia on that. So again, we're also just a Fortville community-based company. We believe in the town. We like the town. We're invested. You know, our hope is to continue to grow and to be one of the leading companies here in Fortville. Any questions on that?
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll log out here. So those are the facts that I just wanted to share. We aren't in compliance, though. We are short of the total employees that we had hoped to grow. But some of the numbers that I provided were to help support where we have been adding back to the financial support of the town.
Right, and you're towards the end of your abatement now, also.
Yes, sir. We only have 2 years left, a year and a half.
Yeah. Can I get a motion to approve Genesis Plastics abatement?
Tom, I'll say first off, this is Robert, that you guys seem to be on a positive upward trend, which is fantastic based on where we were just in these discussions a few years ago. So that's great to see.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'll make a motion to approve the Genesis Plastics tax abatement request as presented.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed?
Okay, Thursday's pool. I think I saw Bill Clem there. Bill, are you there, Bill?
I am here. Do you guys see me? You know, the name is under Ed Vondell. Ed is actually here beside me, just
Oh.
Yes, it was my hand.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Do you see us?
Here's the thing. Look what I put up sometimes. Go ahead.
Our form was sent in though, Adam? Did you? I thought you had received it. Hello, Adam?
Yeah, I did. I received it and I passed it along.
Okay, I thought you made mention or something that we did not have our form or something, but you know, ours is clearly not as fancy as Tom's, or we don't make artificial wombs, but we had done our expansion mostly for storage for our fiberglass molds, which will probably become an issue again. But I think we met our goals on the employees and exceeded it to a good little bit. And obviously made the full investment. I think the investment was $700. It ended up being maybe closer to 741 or something. So, I mean, it was right on budget actually there. So I think we felt like we were good on the numbers. I don't know, do I need to repeat those numbers, Adam, or?
I don't need you to report him, it's Robert.
Don't need, okay.
Did we lose Adam?
No, he's there.
He's there about.
I'm here.
Okay. Bill was asking if he needs to repeat these numbers, or according to his forms, is he all in compliance?
I believe he is in compliance.
Yeah, from what I could tell on your documentation, Bill, you far have exceeded, like you mentioned, so much appreciated.
And I want to add that the facilities look amazing over there. Well done. Well done. Well done.
No, thank you. We're proud to be here and want to keep it up. So thank you, guys.
Ready for a motion?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a motion. Would
I'll
you,
make a
Bill?
motion to approve Thursday's pools tax abatement as presented.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Okay.
Thanks for joining, Bill.
Thank you. You know what's really fortunate about being bald is I get a shave every day. I don't have to go to a barber, and some of you look like you need to get to a barber.
Touche.
Now, hey, I've got some clippers here at home. If somebody wants, I can give a burr real quick.
I may just go bald.
Okay, well, you only maybe a couple more weeks. You might be able to get to a beautician. Might be a little longer, but if you do, I just get just cut the hair there. Hey, okay, I'm gonna move on. So, are we done? We're not doing anything on the plaque maker, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll move on. Okay, B, the council to consider RDC annual report prepared by Buzz. Buzz, are you there?
He's got to unmute himself.
Sorry. My wife's got me trained to mute myself.
You're at the office, aren't you? It looks like it.
I'm actually, I had an RDC meeting at Greenfield, and I was on my way. I saw Randy was on that one too, but I knew I was going to be 10 minutes late, so I called Joe, and he was at City Hall. I said, well, I'm just going to stop by there. So,
Okay.
but we are socially distanced. But yeah, and I was going to say I do have the numbers for the 19 pay 20 Genesis assessed value, and it did go up. The part that we're capturing went up about $160,000, and their total assessments close to 2 million, about between 1.8 and 1.9, and just a portion of it's still subject to the abatement. So I think you guys made a good decision there, because speaking of the increase in assessed valuation, we did have a really good year. Last year, we projected about 309,000 of tax increment coming in based on the assessed value that was reported, and we ended up collecting about 291,000. So that was really pretty good. It was a big jump from the year before, and it looks like our total assessed value that we captured in the pay 2018, I'm sorry, 18 pay 2019 was about $10.3 million of assessed value, and that translated into just under 300,000 of tax increment for the RDC. This year, the assessed value jumped up to 17.5 million, And so we're hopeful that, you know, if everybody's able to pay their taxes on time, that we could get up as high as $500,000 in TIF revenue for this year. So those are all real positive developments. And Genesis is a big part of that total amount that we are capturing. So that I think we had my eyes are burning all of a sudden here. We did have partial levy last year still for the property tax bond issue that was issued back in 2005. That, I believe, is now paid off in January of this year. So we're finished with that particular bond levy, if you will. We paid off about $52,000 in principal in 2018, and the balance got paid off just in January. So the other on the we made two MPO contributions for 17 and 18. I'm sorry, for 18 and 19, and then that was $100,000, $50,000 per contribution. And then I believe we made a third one in January or February of this year. So we're right on target with those distributions that go towards the MPO bond payments. And I know that project's been slowed down, but we've needed to shell out the money to get the reimbursements back from the state. But it's my understanding that they're gonna are they awarding bids this summer, Joe? Is that, or have they already? Or, yes.
Yeah, they're supposed to go out to bid in July, I believe it is. And then
So-
the project starts about February of next year.
Yeah. So that's, at that point, you only have to pay the 20%. Prior to construction, you have to show it all out and then get the money back. So that was why that bond was issued back at the end of 17, back when it was. And but it got off schedule for a while, but it's back on schedule. And at the end of last year, you had about 890 some thousand in the RDC operating fund. I know that you've paid 50,000 towards MPO for this year's MPO commitment, but we haven't received any distributions yet for 2020. Those will be coming in June, presumably. And we'll just have to see if we, you know, the collection could be delayed because of the delay in the due date for payments, whether or not people still pay their taxes in May or not, or if they wait till July. We may be getting late distribution, but I don't think we're going to be in a hardship situation because, you know, of the strong fund balance that we have right now. That's what I have. That's probably the most significant things there. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Adam?
No, I think you went over it pretty well.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, can I get somebody to make a motion to approve the annual report for RDC?
Make a motion to approve the annual report for the RDC as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we don't have any unfinished business, so Joe gave me something about Arbor Day, and I have to read that we're going to proclaim that April 20th is going to be Arbor Day, but I've got some what I got to write. I'm gonna read what he gave me to read. Thereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for preparing trees, and this holiday called Arbor Day was the first to observe with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And thereas trees reduce erosion of topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate temperatures, clean air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide wildlife habitat. And thereas trees increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of businesses area and beautification of neighborhoods. And thereas for 14 years, the town of Fortville has met the Tree City USA standards of a tree ordinance community tree program and an Arbor Day observation. And thereas the town of Fortville has provided a tree awareness program available to the residents. Trees will be planted in Memorial Park, and tree seedlings will be distributed on this day to the residents of Fortville, of the town of Fortville. Now, therefore, I, Frederick Fentz, President of the Town Council of the town of Fortville, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2020 to be Arbor Day in the town of Fortville, and I ask all residents to join me in the observation. In the testimony thereof, I have here unto set my hand the cause to be affixed the seal of the town of Fortville on this 20th day, April, in the year 2020. And I'm signing it. There you go. Done. Any questions on Arbor Day?
No.
I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. I'm not a very good reader.
Fine.
Joe, did you want to chime in on, as far as the trees, or is that going to be later in the report, or? I think you're on mute. Joe, you're on mute.
Well, that's, you try to read my lips, I guess. Yeah, that was sent out to the council a little bit earlier as far as the tree seedlings that we would be handing out. Friday, we're going to set buckets out in front of the town hall. It's going to have the seedlings in them. We ask residents to only choose, 5 trees, just so we can kind of, have more people get them and get them spread around the community. So it's been 14 years that we've been recognized as a Tree City USA. So we're pretty proud of that.
Thank you. I'm going to go to the reports. Joe, you have any reports?
I don't have a lot, but one thing I did want to bring up is I know that we're purchasing equipment through the GEO bond that we've established. One of the trucks that we were going to replace, or we plan to replace, is our larger dump truck that we put the salt spreader in and the large plow. It's got a busted frame. It really does not need to be on the road at this point. We have got the funding in there to replace that truck. But what we've been looking at is, rather than purchasing a new, we're going to start looking at some used trucks. Some other communities have some trucks with low miles that are still in really good shape. We might be able to get a bigger truck, a little bit better truck for our money. So just let you know, we are going to be looking at some of those used trucks and then working on getting some bids for those in the near future.
Thank you. Adam, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I just wanted to let you all know that I've been keeping really busy with permits. As I think some of you saw, to my surprise, we actually issued a few more permits than McCordsville up to this point of the year in terms of single family residential. So that was a bit of a surprise. We're also seeing new construction out at Mount Vernon North. They're getting ready to put the model home in. So if you haven't driven down that way in a while, definitely check it out. I think it's turning out pretty well. We've also been issuing a lot of C of Os and working closely with Jerry Tackett, our building inspector, on that. Secondly, the funny thing is, I think with so many people being home, we're seeing a lot of upticks in smaller permits like additions, patio covers, fence easement encroachment permits. So I think a lot of people that have been sitting at home thinking of different ways to improve their homes. So that's a good thing. And then lastly, I wanted to bring you all up to speed on the Stellar Facade Enhancement Program. If you'll recall, as part of our package that we're getting from the state, we're getting $250,000 from Okra. And we notified everybody on Main Street of the potential to participate in this grant. And as of right now, we have 2 folks that have put in the required $500 deposit to get things moving. First one is the VFW. So looking to do some facade repairs, maybe change out those bricked in windows on Main Street. And then the second one is Robert Johnstone with the grain elevator. So, those 2 particular projects are really great projects to make use of these funds. We're looking to see maybe there were a few other people that had expressed some interest. We'll reach out to them to see if they're still interested, but at least we know we've got 2. We also reached out to the Masonic Lodge, and unfortunately they didn't want to participate, but at least we've got 2. And again, I think they're great buildings that have great potential and great historic buildings in town. So I'm pretty excited about it. So with that, if you have any questions, be more than happy to address those. Okay. Thank you.
Missy,
I
do
really
you have
don't
any
have,
comment?
I really don't have anything other than I sent out the March financials today, and that's it, unless you guys have comments for me or questions.
Thank you. Bill, Chief Bill?
I'm here. For the record, Bill Kennard, Chief of Police. I don't have much, just a couple of things. The first thing is, being that it's 420 day, we had 0 marijuana arrest. So for those of you that don't understand, 420 is the penal code, California penal code for marijuana. So, but we had 0 arrests today on 420. So I'm pretty impressed with that. The other thing is, we went through our hiring process. Obviously, everyone knows that Anthony Chavez has already started at Fisher's. We completed our hiring process. We did extend an offer to Diane Graffiti. She used to be Diane Jackson. She was a reserve here for about 2 years. Contributed a lot to the reserve program. Then she left the reserve program and went to work for the state police, state excise police. And she's been there with the last 4 years. So she has accepted the officer. I have got approval from the Board of Police Commissioners, and we are planning on starting her. She went down and got fitted for uniforms. I want to say Thursday of last week, Thursday or Friday. And we plan on a start date for her on the 27th. So her FTO process will be short since she's already familiar with the geography and our RMS system. So we hope to have her out on the road probably within 6 weeks. Other than that, unless you've got questions for me, that's all I needed to report on.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you. Alex? Do you have any
I don't
comment?
have anything unless you have anything for me.
No. Okay, since we're not going to have any public comment, people, if you have any comments, you can either email me or any of the council people with your questions, and we can get back with you, or even Joe Renner. Thank you. And we are working on public comment also on the meetings to come. Town council, Libby, you have any comments?
No, I've just been receiving a lot of phone calls from people in town thanking the donor for the payment to the water and sewer bills, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Becky?
I wanted to check to see if we've made any decisions what we might do with the July 4th event. Maybe move it to September or something.
I think that would have a lot to do with the pyrotechnicians that are working on the fireworks. So we would have to check with them to see if they've got any available time. I did hear today that FAI is canceling their music in the park. I guess I really shouldn't say that because I've not heard it officially, but I did see something on Facebook about it today.
Yes, I saw that too. And then I saw in the paper where LaPel canceled their village fair, and they usually have that the weekend after July 4th. So I just thought, I don't know, if maybe we could try to move it to weekend after Labor Day or something. I hate to have to cancel it.
It hasn't been officially canceled, right? Are we just sitting and waiting right now? No, I'll give it a minute.
Well, has it been set up with the people who put in the fireworks, Joe, for the weekend we usually have it?
Yeah, we've already got it all set up and ready to go. And I would probably give it another couple of weeks or so, or maybe a couple more meetings and see where things are at. If we start opening the businesses up again and opening up the state where people's mulling around, and you know, it might be something people are ready for after being cooped up all this time.
Hey, Joe,
Okay.
would you at least want to check, reach out and check just to see if there's any dates like there, if we just happen to do it, that way we know our options.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay. Tanya?
There is a lot of places that have canceled everything for the year. Becky and I were just talking about that. So, I mean, I certainly don't want to do that. I'd like to do it day by day, but some of the stuff like that takes a little bit of planning. So, we might need to have a little bit more notice on something like that.
Okay. Robert?
No, the last thing I wanted to say was, like Libby just said, what a tremendous, and I believe unprecedented transaction of the utility bills. I think that was just really fantastic. And what else can we really say? So I didn't want that to go unnoticed. So thank you, Libby, for bringing that up. And then the July 4th, Becky brought up. So I think we're good.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't have any comment right now. I'm starting to, well, my comment is I just can't wait till we get back into the town hall and get back to normal on these meetings. And because I enjoy seeing everybody and just hopefully this ends soon. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve to sign vouchers?
Make the motion, we approve vouchers.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So do you want us to come by the office this week and sign those vouchers?
That would be great if you guys can. I can leave them out on a table in the hallway next to my office. And if you guys just knock on the side door, I can let you all in.
Okay. Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:39.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Have
night.
a good week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Joe,